Hey everyone, thanks for joining me for Wow Me Wednesday. The last few weeks I've focused on how to promote you or your business through video. And today I'm going to continue on with the video topic, but focus on how to deliver a strong on-camera interview from a former reporter's perspective. So today I'm going to give you an inside scoop on what I wish the people I interviewed knew when I was a reporter. So really important things to keep in mind for you tonight. This morning, I gave an interview to promote an event that's coming up for the nonprofit that I work for. And I have to tell you the truth, it is a lot harder to be interviewed than it is to be the interviewer. So things were going through my mind and I was preparing, and so I wanted to share some of those thoughts and ideas with you. The first thing to think about is, what is the feel of the show or the segment you're going to be on? Similar to for a presentation, who is your audience, right? This is what I repeat all the time. So what's the feel of the show or segment? If it's a morning show, or for the weekly web show that I was interviewed for this morning, it was more lighthearted and it was more entertainment based. So have fun with it, be upbeat. Be excited about what you're talking about. And that way, the viewers and the reporter will be excited about it too. So for instance, this morning I was talking about the event that's coming up for our nonprofit, a fundraiser, and I was smiling and my voice was upbeat like this versus subdued like this. Obviously, you can see and hear the difference. However, if you're being interviewed as an expert in your field, for instance, if you're an insurance agent and providing tips on how to choose the best policy for you and your family, or you're an eye doctor sharing tips about how to watch the eclipse safely, then you are going to want to be more subdued, more professional, and more serious. Not that you can't crack a smile here and there, you want to show some personality, but you want to contain it so that the viewers value your credibility and value you as an expert. The second thing to keep in mind when it comes to rocking your on-camera interview, this is the most important thing I want you to remember. If you can glean any information from this video, remember this. When you give an interview, your job is to deliver your feelings, thoughts, and opinions. That's what the reporter or anchor is looking for out of you. That can only be conveyed by you. It's your unique perspective. So I like to give this analogy. So if you're watching a basketball game, for instance, for all you sports fans out there, there are usually two commentators, right? A play-by-play commentator and a color commentator. So the play-by-play commentator focuses on the facts of the game, what's going on, what you see going on the court, right? If we're talking about a basketball game. The color commentator provides some behind-the-scenes information, provides backstories, provides reaction, the fan reaction, the impression, the emotions of the game, right? So it's your job to be that color commentator. You want to talk about your reactions, your thoughts, and your feelings. The reporter or the anchor can be the play-by-play commentator to provide the who, what, when, and where of the information you're providing. If you're promoting an event like I did, they can provide all of that information. They can talk about it. It can be on a full screen graphic, but you're the one to help take the audience there, get them excited, draw them in. I'll give you an example. When I was a reporter, I would often cover car accidents. Unfortunately, that fills a lot of local news. And I would oftentimes interview a police officer on the scene, often called the public information officer. And they would give again, who was involved, what happened, where it happened, when it happened. But very seldomly would they actually show emotion, and they're not really supposed to. But more often than not, the interviews I would actually use for my story, my edited story, would be from witnesses who would describe the screeches of the tires that they heard, or the moment of impact when the cars collided. So they're the ones that can take me as the reporter as well as the viewers to the scene. What actually happened? So again, you are serving as the color commentator, sharing your thoughts, feelings, and opinions. You're the only one that can convey that unique perspective. So the third tip to keep in mind is a lot of times I get asked, if I'm being interviewed on camera, where do I look? Do I look into the camera? Do I look at the reporter or anchor? So really it depends. If it is a live show, if it's a whole conversation that's being recorded or going live, then it's a three-way conversation. You most often want to look at the reporter or anchor since they're asking you questions, but oftentimes you can turn to the camera too and address your audience, the third person in that conversation, for just a couple of seconds. If you are being interviewed for a story that's going to be edited down and you have to provide sound bites, then just focus on the reporter. And oftentimes the reporter will let you know, oh, just look at me, or you can feel free to address me as well as the camera. The last tip for tonight that I want to share with you is about your sound bites. So to piggyback off my last point, if you're going to be interviewed for an edited down story that we call packages in the news business, you're really only going to be delivering, or your interview is only going to be 10 to 15 seconds long of a sound bite being used. And so you want to make sure that your point is conveyed. So be sure to practice your points so that they're concise, as well as showing emotion or your opinion, so that they actually will find your soundbite valuable. Oftentimes it was hard for me as a reporter. People would talk on and on and on, and I'd have 30 seconds or a minute, and how would I cut that down to be able to fit the news segment? So if the more that you practice and can be concise and clear in your point, the more the reporter is going to love you. So I hope you found these tips helpful. Let me know if you have questions. Comment below and I can answer them for you. And contact me if you have an interview coming up. If you're lucky enough to be contacted to be interviewed for your business or your expertise, whether it's a webcast or a local TV station, awesome. It's free publicity. So feel free to contact me and we can set up some one-on-one coaching. My website is jessicachangconsulting.com if you want to check out my various services and my work from the past as a reporter. And again, let me know what other topics that you would like to see on future Wow Me Wednesdays. Thanks everyone. See you next time.